Morning. Um, Myself, Dr. Devanand Atmaram Mishra, Assistant Professor, RMD Senior School of Engineering, Varge, Pune. On behalf of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, DGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, under the 16th Faculty Induction Program, I am going to present computer networking as a micro teaching. The course of this content is network basic concepts, use of network in sharing resources, common types of network, LAN, WAN, internet, server-based network, client-server model, and P2P network, network media, wireless network, threads to network, the internet world, and cloud computing. So, what's meant by network? As we know that a computer is a group of network, or we can say that a computer network is a group of computers or devices that use the set of common communication protocol over a digital interconnections for the purpose of sharing the resources located on or provided by the network nodes. Here we have to say the nodes, that is, the nodes of a computer network may include personal computers, servers, networking hardware, and other specialized general purpose hosts. The interconnections between the nodes are formed from a broad spectrum of telecommunication network topology based on physical wired, optical, and wireless technology. A communication protocol is a set of rules for exchange the information over a network. As you see in the diagram, that is a network. As we know that the number of nodes or end devices are connected to each other with the help of switches, then fiber optic network cables, routers, LAN, internet, firewalls, and many more. This is the scenario of network which we'll have to create. The advantage and use of network, it is a simultaneous access. Or we can say that in a simultaneous access, there are moments in any business when several workers may need to use the same data at the same time. Therefore, we need to create a network. So in that case, we have to share the peripheral devices. For example, in a working area, we have a one printer and many more want to use that printer. So we need to share that printer among the networks. Then personal communications. In the case of personal communication, we need to use the video conferencing. Also, we can use the voice over internet protocols, VoIP transmit the sound of voice over a computer network using the internet protocol rather than sending the signal over traditional phone wires. Here we say that it is easier to take the data backup. In the case of networking devices, that is, we have to say that it is end devices. The first is NIC card, repeater, hub, switch, bridge, routers, gateway, firewall. So we have to say that it is NIC card, that network interface card. As we see in the diagram, this is the one of the type of Ethernet card. So in the NIC is used to physically connect the host device to the network media. With the help of this, NIC is printed on the circuit board that fits into the expansion slot on the bus on the computer, that we have to use the motherboard. It can also be a peripheral device. This NIC are sometimes called as network adapter. That's why we have to say that it is Ethernet card. So each NIC is identified by the unique code called as media access control address. This address is used to control data communication for the host on the network. Another is repeater. So in the case of repeaters, a repeater is a network device that is used to regenerate the signal. In case of we have to transmit the information to long distance, so that signal does not reach to the distance. That's why we need to use the repeaters. Therefore, these repeaters regenerate the analog or digital signals that are distorted by transmission loss due to attenuation. A repeater does not make an intelligent decision concerning forwarding the packets. Third is hubs. We have to say that it is 100 ways key hub or 10 ways key hub. So in the hubs are concentrated on the connection. In other words, they take a group of hosts and allow the network to see them as a single unit. This is done passively without any other effect on the data transmission. It is an active hub concentrate host and also regenerate the signals. In the case of bridges, as you see in the diagram, the number of fishes are connected through the hub and two hubs are connected in the bridge. So in case of bridges, it has to convert the network data format and perform the basic idea of the data transmission management. Bridges provide the connections between the different labs. They also check the data to determine if it should cross the bridge. This makes each part of the network more efficient. In the case of switches, switches add the more and more intelligence to data transfer management. They can also determine if data should remain on a LAN and transfer the data only the connection that needs it. Another difference between the bridge and switches is that a switch does not convert the data transmission format. As you see in the diagram, we have the number of workstations that all that workstation are connected to the single switch. And that switch can be divided into the many ports. That is 8-port switch, 16-port switch, then 24-port switch, 32-port switch, etc. etc. Another end device is routers. As you see in the diagram, the routers have all the capabilities listed previously. Okay, these routers can regenerate the signals, concentrate the multiple connections, convert data transmission format, and manage the data transfers. They also connect to the WAN, which also then to connect the LAN that are separated by the great distance. In case of gateway, as you see in the diagram, a gateway, it is the piece of networking hardware used to in a telecommunication for telecommunication network that allows the data to flow from one discrete network to another network. A gateway are distinct from the routers or switches in that they communicate using more than one protocol to connect a bunch of networks. In case of firewall, as you see in the diagram, a firewall is a network device or software for controlling network security and access the rules. Firewalls are inserted in connections between secure internal network and potentially insecure external networks such as internet. Firewalls are typically configured to reject the access request from unauthorized sources while allowing actions from recognized ones. The vital role of the firewalls play in a network security grows in a parallel with the constant increase in a cyber attack. In a network media, the function of the network media is to carry out a flow of information through a LAN. Here we have to say that it is the two types of media. One is wired media and another is wireless media. In a wired media, it is widely adopted family that uses the copper and fiber media in a local area network technology are collectively known as Ethernet. It is a copper cable. With the help of this copper cable, it will also use the coaxial cable, shielded twisted pair cable, unshielded twisted pair cables. Also, we need to use the fiber optic cables. In another media, that is wireless media, we use the atmosphere or space as a medium. As we see in the diagram, it's a copper cable, the most common and easiest, quickest, and cheapest form of the network media to install. The disadvantage of sending data over the copper wire is that the further the signal travels, the weaker it becomes. As you see in the coaxial cable, this coaxial cable can be used in a larger distance than the twisted pair cables. It has a speed up to 10 to 100 Mbps Its cost is inexpensive, media and convert size is medium, and it has to use the maximum cable length is 500 meters. Shielded twisted pair cables. In the case of shielded twisted pair cables, it is speed up to 0 to 100 Mbps and its cost is moderate and media is and converter size is medium to large and it is maximum length is 100 meters. Unshielded twisted pair cable is it is a unshielded twisted pair cable having a four pairs medium used in a variety of networks. These four pair cables that is nothing but we need to use the each of eight copper wires in an unshielded twisted pair cable is converted by insulating material. So this speed is 10, 100 or 1000 Mbps. Cost is least expensive, medium and convert size is small and it is maximum length is 100 meter depending on the quality and category of the cable. Uh, so this unshielded twisted pair cable implement is used in a RJ45 connector. This letters RJ stand for registered cap. As you know that the fiber optic cable, uh, this fiber optic cable is used to carry forward the light pulses, and each pulses is in the form of bit. So based on the total internal reflection of the light. Its speed is point-to-point transmission that is 10 to 100 Gbps. Low error rate, it repeats the space far apart and it is immune to the electromagnetic noise. The communication protocol. In the case of Internet Protocol Suite, also called as TCP/IP protocol, it is the foundation of modern networking. It defines the addressing, identification, and routing specification for IPv4 and IPv6. It is defining a set of protocols for the internet. In another protocol is 802. The IEEE 802. So it is the family of IEEE standard dealing with the local area network and metropolitan uh, area network. They operate mostly at level 1 or 2 of the OSI model. Ethernet. It is the family of protocol used in a wired LAN described by set of standards together called as 802.3. As you see in the protocol suite, we have the different OSI model layers and TCP/IP protocol suite. In the case of TCP/IP and OSI model layers, we have the physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, application layer. As we considered in the TCP/IP protocol suite, also use a network layer interface, internet layer, transport layer, application layer. So in a wireless communication network, it is standardized by IEEE 802.11 and shares many properties with the wired Ethernet. It is also used the synchronous optical networking, that is SONET, and synchronous digital hierarchy, that is SBS, are standardized multiplexing protocol that transfer the multiple digital bit stream over the optical fiber using lasers. Asynchronous transfer mode, that's ATM. It uses asynchronous time division multiplexing and encodes data into small fixed data size sets. A good choice for the network that handles both traditional high throughput data traffic and real time low latency content such as voice and video. Here is types of network. The types of network having many more, that is personal area network, local area network, campus area network, metropolitan area network, wide area network, storage area network, virtual private area network, client server network, peer-to-peer network. In case of personal area network, as you see in the diagram, we have to form the personal areas of the particular network. In a personal area network is a computer network used for data transmissions amongst the devices such as computers, telephones, tablets, and personal digital assistant. It is also known as home area network. In a personal area network can be used for communication among the personal devices themselves, interpersonal communications, or for connecting to the higher level of network and the internet, where one master device takes up the role as an internet router. In a local area network, as you see in the diagram, the most of the time the Xerox Corporation worked in a collaboration with the BEC and Intel to create the Ethernet, which is the most pervasive LAN architecture used in a today's era. Ethernet has evolved and has seen significant improvement in a regard to speed and efficiency. And the upside of the LAN is fast data transfer with the data speed that can reach up to the 10 Gbps. Other significant of the LAN technologies are fiber distributed data interface and token ring. In a campus area network, as you see in the diagram of the campus area network, it is larger than the local area network but smaller than the metropolitan area network. These types of networks are typically seen in universities, large K-12 schools, districts, or small businesses. They can be spread across several buildings that are fairly close to each other so users can share the resources. In a metropolitan area network, as you see the number of metropolitan cities. So as you see that a map is larger than the land, but smaller than or equal size of the wide area network. The size range anywhere from 5 to 50 kilometers in a diagram. A man are typically owned and managed by a single entity. This could be ISP or telecommunication company that sells its services to the end users in that metropolitan area network. Yeah. Then wide area network. A wide area network exists over a large area. Data travels throughout the telephone or cable lines. Usually requires a modem. The world's largest wide area network in the internet. As you see in the diagram, that is storage area network, that is SAN. SAN is referred to as a sub-network or special purpose network. The special purpose is to allow the users on a large network to connect various data storage devices with clusters of the data servers. This SAN can be accessed in the same fashion as drive attached to the server. In a virtual private area network. In a virtual private network that can access the public network remotely, we can use encryption and security protocol to retain the privacy while access outside of the resources. When employed on a network, a VPN enables an end user to create a virtual tunnel to remote locations. Typically, telecommunications use the VPN to log into their company network from home. Authentication is provided to validate the identities of the two peers. Confidentiality provides the encryption of the data to keep it private from prying eyes. Integrity is used to ensure that data sent between two devices or sites has not been tampered with. It is a client-server network. In a client-server networking arrangement, network services are located on a dedicated computer called a server. The server responds to the request of client. The server is centrally computer that is continuously available to respond the request from client for file, print application, and any other services. Most network operating systems adopt the form of client-server relationship. Typically, a desktop computer functions as a client and one or more computers with additional processing power, memory, and specialized functions as a server. Then a very peer-to-peer network, it is a very small network. Each workstation has equivalent capabilities and responsibilities, does not require a switch or hub. These types of networks do not perform well under heavy data loads. So we have the networking topology. We will discuss later on this networking topology. Thank you very much.